Rabbi will speak, Rabbi Yehoshua. We want to say a פרק תהילים לרפואת יעקב ישראל בן תמר מלכה. We are here, a lot of people. ברוב עם עלת מלך, שיר המעלות עשה עיניי, אלה הערים מעין יבוא עזרי. לרפואת, everybody together. שיר המעלות עשה עיניי, אלה הערים, מעין יבוא עזרי, עזרי מעין. זה שמיים וארץ אני תן רמות הנה לא ינום אדוני שומרך יומם השמש לא יככה אדוני ישמוך מכל אדוני ישמור צדק ואוהב שנעזור לאנשים שגיבו רפואה שלמה, and until Pesach, he'll be back home בריא ושלם, אמן. Rabbi, one more song, and then before I leave.
Do you guys mind to move one chair?
Good evening, everybody. I want to formally introduce myself. There's a lot of new faces here tonight. I'm the annoying guy you had to text for the RSVP. My name is Yehoshua Kaiko. I am the Rav here across the hall. I should have said here in this beautiful big room. The way this event started, really the way we started to be inspired to make this event, every Tuesday night at 8:30, we have a shiur in the other room. We have a consistent crowd of 40 to 60, sometimes even more, guys that come every week. And we thought of, what are we going to do to inspire these guys before Pesach? What are we going to do to inspire the Chevra before Pesach? One of the things we were thinking of, maybe make another shiur. Maybe make another, bring a famous speaker to come and give a few words of Chizuk, of Divrei Torah. But then, a couple of the members of our board, we decided to do something that will really max out inspiration before Pesach. That's what we wanted to do. We have a big holiday coming, a big Chag. And this Chag is known as Pesach. A couple of weeks away. For those of you that know what Pesach is already, I'm not going to give you a whole spiel about it, but I want to bring a modern version of how we could look at Pesach today. And the Rambam foresaw this almost 1,000 years ago when he wrote this, and listen very closely to what the Rambam writes. The Rambam writes, in the time before Mashiach will come, Bnei Ishmael and Bnei Esav, who are both the inheritors of, not the inheritors, but are both the offspring of Avraham Avinu. They will both come and go to Israel and say, this land belongs to the offspring of Avraham. We are the offspring of Avraham. Are they not? Esav is the grandson of Avraham Avinu. Ishmael is the son of Avraham Avinu. And they will come in the days of Mashiach and say, this land belongs to us. The Rambam says there will be no answer to this question. This is in the Pirush of Mishnayot of the Rambam and Masechet Sanhedrin. He writes this. There will be no answer except one thing. Who keeps the Seder Pesach? Do the Ishmaelim keep Pesach today?
No.
Do the Bnei Esav keep Pesach today? All those that are kashur to the Chag of Pesach, it is the ultimate proof that you are a descendant of Abraham Avinu, and you were the one that was, Hashem spoke to Abraham and told him, Ki geri yezaracha be'eretz lo lahem, va'avadum ve'inu otam 400 shana. You will be slaves in a land. And this holiday, even the most fried Jew, or the most frum Jew, they keep Pesach. They keep something in Pesach. In my office, they make a joke. Some people, they call him, he's the Manischewitz Jew. They have something, matzah, wine, something for Pesach that they acknowledge. These are the people that in the future will be the ones to inherit Le'olam Yerushu Aretz. Everyone asks me, a lot of people ask me, if I could, I'm telling you, I'll show the list of the RSVPs. I had a question, why is Beryl coming? Beryl Solomon is not just a guy that looks like a taller version of me, because I got that 1,000 times tonight. But I want to explain to everybody why I decided to bring Beryl. I was very hurt that public companies, that yes, Jews shouldn't be subscribed to these companies. And Hollywood, they disgraced our name the last 5 years. Disgraced. They specifically went to find stories, one of a million stories, to desecrate our name, to put our name down. And besides the people watching it or hearing about it and saying this is really horrible, I know I'm in the workforce. I learn half a day and I work half a day. And part of my half a day job is having to answer questions to people. Hey, is it true that Jews do this and Jews do that? And I have to answer these questions. And I'm thinking, where are they getting it from? And eventually I found out, and there were a lot of people, a lot of Jewish from and non-from, Jews that were offended by what was portrayed by the media. It's not even considered media, it's called entertainment. I can't say the name because I don't want to get any charges, but it's called entertainment for the secular world to, and the Gentiles to speak about us in a way that's degrading us, and our kids watch it and they should nod their heads and say this is part of entertainment. It's not entertainment. But as much as you and I felt wrong about it, including myself, we did nothing. We did nothing. But then one day, someone sends me an hour-long video, which I don't know if I'm going to watch. So watch this video. And there was a man named Beryl Solomon that he made a movie against that film that was made to be Mehalel our name. And one by one, person by person, he annihilated excuses that I had to give, that this isn't true and this isn't true. Because he came from a world where, number one, maybe he had a taste of that. Maybe he has been there. But you know what? He decided that I'm going to stand up and I'm going to do something. He made a film. He didn't go out to try to put it on famous websites. He put it on YouTube for everyone to see. That what the media portrays, what the entertainment is making us watch and try to wash our brains about Judaism and Torah, false. And he did it. And that's why I tip my hat to him. We don't look Chabad, Ashkenaz, Sephardic, our shul every week. We have the most dispersed crowd you will find in Flatbush, Brooklyn, Queens, period, end of story. You will not find it anywhere else, that I guarantee you. We have a kiddush after davening, everybody sits, nobody looks. I've been to shuls before where you have the Ashkenazi section over there, and you have the Sephardi section over here, and you have the other section, the miscellaneous. It's not supposed to be that way. If you want to see an example of Achdut, join one Shabbos. Come, we only have a Shabbos minyan. Come one Shabbos, you will see. You know, I had a Divrei Torah, but I have to listen to Nahari. Nahari, where is Nahari? Right here. Yechiel, I have something prepared, but I'm excited for the show that you have for us tonight. I'm not going to say it, but what I will say is, I try to do one thing. I try to bring the best of the best in this room. We have the best Hazan right here in this room right now. I speak to several Hazanim, Mayor Nimni, all the time. We speak to other Hazanim. And sometimes I send them versions of songs that they're interested in. And they always send me, do you have this song where Yechiel is singing it? You have this song where Nahari is singing it? I want to hear Nahari. and he has everything. He's an encyclopedia. He has the whole library for Nahari. But thank you very much for coming, Yechiel. The event that we have planned in the future, remember my words, everybody here. The event that we have planned in the future will involve Yechiel and much more. Will make this event look like child's play. Remember what I'm telling you. It's on camera. Okay? Number two, we had a big Slichot event here, but before Yom Kippur. At that time, there was a big question about where Brooklyn's going to stand. Where are we going? Who's going to speak for us? The past few weeks, I've seen, Motzei Shabbat, I turn on my phone around 9:30, 10 o'clock. I see a Jew get jumped by 6 people, right? Everybody saw that? I'm not the only one, right? I hope I'm not a magnet to seeing things like that. And then weeks before that, days before that, and who do we speak to? Who are you going to tell that you don't feel safe? It's very hard for us to sit back and like I said, the reason why we call Beryl here is because Beryl chose the option of not doing nothing. So before I end my speech for tonight, I want to tell you that with us we have a guest of honor. Her name is Ina Vernikov. She is the city council. Thank you very much, Ina, for coming. This event would not be possible without the sponsors of the night. I have to mention some of these people. First of all year, Aaron Leviev has been a constant supporter of the Tuesday night cheer. He's currently on a business trip. We wish him much hatzlacha. I'm not a rebbe, I don't give brachas, but Hashem knows in my heart what I really want for you. Hashem should be able to bless you. I also want to thank the Rafael Baba Yisako family, aka Jagman. Okay, we got Rafael, his wife Ruth, his kids Yitzchak, Sarah, David, and Amram. I also want to thank the Yusupo family. I just want to say, where's Yaakov? Yaakov, I gotta tell you, your son, Moshe, really helped me this time. The whole thing is helping me out big time. Your son, Moshe, is a man. Your wife, Esther, thank you so much. Esther, Hashem should bless Ariella, Daniela, Talia, your kids. With, they should have a successful future ahead of them, just like their parents. Thank you so much. I have to go, this is family politics. Digital Studios is my father-in-law. He sent his crew to record. Thank you so much. I appreciate your. We have Eddie Aminov, Rafael Niazo, who does the live streaming on my shares every week. Even though I say no, but he still does it. Thank you so much. My brother-in-law, Shalom Rachminov, also known as Alex, his wife Yafa, and his daughter Ayela. Thank you so much for your sponsorships and your support. I gotta tell you, I really have faith that we will see the refuah shlema bekarov of Yaakov Yisrael ben Tamar Malka. Hashem should send refuah quickly. And I want to thank the Nimni family for organizing the. Please say when you eat the food, please think in mind it should be refuah shlema. I want to thank my wife's organization, LA Consulting, for sponsoring as well. If anybody needs any government licensing, nursing homes, you could call me. I'll do the free advertising for her. And I also want to thank my wife for allowing me to have I'm telling you now, for her to be able to be patient and to give me the time to prepare for the shiur and to give time away from Shabbat, from the family, for the shul. Kol hakavod to her, and thank you very much for all your work. There are some not in the sponsor that only Hashem sees. I'm respecting your wishes by not saying your name. Most of all, my brother Isaac, his wife Yelena, Hillel and Moti, who help every week, the twins, everyone knows the twins, Yael, and the people that helped me to advertise this event, by the way, There's a company called JCN Advertising. Her name is Serena Hain. Don't call anybody else. You hear that, Serena? You bugged me about that. Serena Hain, contact her. She's going to help you out with all your needs. Now is the time where I would like to call up something that's very rarely done in an Orthodox shul, but it must be done for Akarat Tov. We voted for her. She's helping us. She's standing up for us. She's making sure that we have a Jewish voice in the political system, and that she will bring us, Bezrat Hashem, we should see a lot of her efforts come into fruition. Ina, please come up and say a few words for us.
You said I have 10 minutes. Who's going to time me? Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Rabbi. Thanks for having me. It's really an honor for me to be here with you. Just a couple of words about the Kaikov family. I came to America from the Ukraine in 1986. I went to yeshiva, and my family is not observant. Was not observant before, is not observant now. And when I went to yeshiva, I started observing Shabbat. I lived actually a couple of blocks from here on MN18, and I really had nowhere to go for Shabbat on Saturday. And I had a friend in school, her name is Janet, and she invited me one time for a Shabbat meal, and I think I was pretty much going to her house every Saturday. Her family was extremely hospitable, her home was always open, and her last name is Kaikov, and she's the sister of Josh and Isaac Kaikov. And so obviously this family, and I haven't, Mrs. Kaikov is here, and Mr. Kaikov is over here, and I haven't seen them in probably 20 years. And so, but they obviously made a tremendous impact on me, and looking at this community now, I see the kind of impact they're having on all of you, and so I want to thank them, and thank you all. And also, I heard that many of you voted for me, so I just want to say thank you for doing that. So, as Rabbi Kaikov said, I am the council member for this district, District 48, representing Sheepshead Bay, Brighton Beach, Midwood, Manhattan Beach, and parts of Gravesend. And before I ran for office, I was a lawyer. I had my own practice for 8 years, living a pretty comfortable life. Didn't really intend to go into politics. And then a couple of years ago, I saw what was going on in our country. And I'm not going to get political, but I saw it in the Democratic Party and what the party was doing to our country, to our city, the crime, the movement to defund the police, the erosion of our freedoms, our freedom of speech, our freedom of religion, and most importantly, anti-Semitism. And anti-Semitism has been an issue that's been incredibly important to me for many years. I've never been a victim of anti-Semitism, but our people, my people, rose from the ashes of the Holocaust and built lives for ourselves, and we know what it's like. And unfortunately, in 2022, we're seeing an incredible rise in anti-Semitism here in America, and I know most of you here, I think, escaped the former Soviet Union. We escaped anti-Semitism. And to see it here, we came to this country for freedom, and we never thought that we would see it here. And unfortunately, this is what we're seeing right now. We're seeing it everywhere. We're seeing it in banks, at the DOE, in schools, on college campuses. Our college campuses have really become hotbeds for anti-Semitism. At work, and unfortunately, we see it on our streets. We're getting beaten on our streets. Well, maybe a little bit of good news is that I kind of know how to fight anti-Semitism. I happen to have learned from the man I consider the best at doing this. I'm sure his name is very familiar here. I'm sure he's no stranger to a lot of you. His name is Joe Hyken. So I learned a lot from him. I learned how to not be afraid to speak up, to stand up, not to care what's popular, to say what needs to be said when it needs to be said. So I'm going to bring you, how much more time do I have? 5 minutes? I'm going to bring you a couple of examples because I think they're really important. Last May, while Israel was experiencing Intifada, bombs were flying over our Jewish brothers and sisters. Here in America, of course, we saw some serious activism. So a friend of mine, someone I knew, is a teacher at a public school. She came to me and she said, my principal sent us an email asking all of us, teachers, all of the staffers, to rally, to start being active in the cause for Palestine, for the Palestinian movement, to support pro-Palestinian rallies, to attend rallies, and to ask the government officials to sanction the state of Israel. Now, there were about 5 teachers who saw this email, and to see something like this from a principal at their school, their boss essentially, while having family in Israel who are running for shelters, who have 10 to 15 seconds to run for shelter, is so incredibly disturbing, and these people just didn't know where to turn, and a lot of them didn't even want to say anything. And so she came to me, and because this issue is so important for me, the second she told me about it, that night I stayed up till 1 in the morning. I wrote a letter to the DOE Chancellor, Misha Porter, and in the morning I went to the press. The New York Post picked it up in the morning. By the afternoon, every single media outlet picked it up. By Saturday, so this was Thursday night, by Saturday, when I opened my phone after Shabbat, the DOE Chancellor issued a public statement saying that the principal has to apologize, and the principal immediately apologized. The DOE also made a public statement confirming that no city employee or DE employee is allowed to rally for a public cause on DOE dime, on DOE time. Why is this important? Because it sets a precedent. Putting things out in the public media is important. It sets a precedent for the future. Now, any teacher, I'm not saying this is never going to happen, but any teacher or DOE employee who wants to do this, who wants to rally for any political cause, is going to think twice before they do it. Another example is, during the same time, a student came to me. She was a student at SUNY downstate. She tells me there are 100 Jewish students on the SUNY campus who are afraid. They're being harassed. They're being harassed in the media. They're afraid to walk on their campus. They're being called dirty Jews. They're being called names. We don't know what to do. We have a group of the 100 students, and we set our messages to be deleted. That's how afraid we are. And they went to the administration, simply asking for the administration to make a statement condemning anti-Semitism. And the administration started giving them a runaround. No statement. 1 week, 2 weeks, no statement. So my question is, why is it that when Black Lives Matter need to rally for their cause, the universities all, in one voice, support Black Lives Matter, loud and clear? Palestinian causes, our universities are loud and clear in supporting those. When there's Asian hate, they stand up, they make public statements. But for some reason, when it comes to anti-Semitism, it is so difficult to make a simple statement condemning anti-Semitism. They didn't ask them for anything big. Just make a statement. 2 weeks, nothing. So, against the wishes of some of these students, I wrote a letter on my lawyer letterhead complaining about the possible violation of civil rights of Jewish students on that campus. Guess what? The next day, the president wrote them back saying they're going to have a meeting with the school, police, and the university administration. Now let me tell you that I had two of these students call me after I posted the letter on my social media, asking me to take it down, to take it back, take it down. They're yelling at me. They're telling me they're going to sue me. We're living in a very difficult time, but this is pathetic. That Jewish students are afraid. They're so scared of my letter simply asking the school to condemn anti-Semitism. Unfortunately, this is partially why we are where we are. An organization that I once joined called Legion did a poll, and they asked people, if you go to any community, Italian community, Black community, Palestinian community, Arab community, and the Jewish community, where can you go where you're not afraid to rob people or commit crimes? Can you guys guess which one they picked? The Jews. Nobody's afraid of us. Why is it that when Black people are assaulted or their civil rights are violated, the Black community is not afraid? They're not afraid to speak up, and guess what? They get what they want. They get their civil rights. So it's about time that the Jewish community fights for our civil rights. But to do that, we, number one, cannot be afraid to speak up. It's important to use the media, the power of the media, and it's important not to be afraid. And I'm here to tell you guys that you have in me someone who is not afraid. I'm not afraid to speak up for us, for our civil rights, because just like any other community, this is America still, for now, and we still have rights here. And just like everybody else, we're entitled to our equal civil rights. So I'm here for you guys. We have the resources. I have an office, it's on Avenue, 2401 Avenue. Rabbi can have the office number, he can give it out to you guys. We work with NYPD. I know every single captain at my precinct. We work with the Shomrim, NYPD Shomrim. I'm going to be holding a hearing on anti-Semitism on CUNY campuses in chambers in the city council. But the point is, I'm asking you all, since anti-Semitism is right now 300%, there's a 300% increase in anti-Semitism right now. And it's happening every day, and I know that many people don't say anything. We don't want to be victimized. But I'm asking you all not to stay silent. You can reach out to me. We have the power of the media, we have the power of social media, we have the press, and we have our leaders. We have Joe Hyken, we have Americans Against Anti-Semitism, we have many organizations who are willing to help, but most importantly, we should not be afraid to speak up and speak out. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Ina. Those were very, very powerful words. Thank you so much. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for, we're going to have a special song played for the introduction of Beryl. Everybody put your hands together for Beryl Solomon. Thank you so much for coming. We're really excited about this. Let's get it started.
שיר, אשא עיניי אל ההרים נפות היד. take a break with Yechiel. He's not done. We have another at least hour with Yechiel Nahari, so all of you say 2 hours, Yechiel says, 2 hours. Mehiyot HaKapayim. And round of applause for our great musicians, Jawad, Gabby, Maurice, Farouk. Mehiyot HaKapayim.
Thank you so much. All right, everybody, let's silence our cell phones. Let's get ready. There's a whole crowd around Beryl over there. Everybody over there, march them in. We're inviting now officially. Let's get the stage set up for it. Everybody give a round of applause for Beryl Solomon. Let's go, Beryl. Beryl, 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 Beryl. Go.
Speak up a little, right? Thank you. I made you speak.
What's up, New York City? Yes. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have an amazing evening. You know, they say that the NYPD is New York's finest. By the way, I love the NYPD. But the New York's finest is sitting in this room right now, ladies and gentlemen. What an honor, what a privilege to be speaking to the chosen people. Wow.